live unfoldings in and around Liberia. This is News Today with me, Zac Sherman. Stories in the headlines. Collaborating political parties call on National Elections Commission to halt the ongoing voters' roll update. Health workers in Liberia demonstrate demanding hazard pay, salary payment, among others. Police in Zweju, Grand Judah County, is in search for an alleged murderer after killing his girlfriend. Those plus more package for you on this presentation when we shall have returned. Thanks for staying with us. The collaborating political party CPP has called on the National Elections Commission to halt the ongoing voters' roll update on grounds of alleged electoral malpractices and inadequate logistical support. CPP leader Elizana Cummins said the party has made several attempts to work with the National Elections Commission to have the voters' roll cleaned up, but to no avail. He alleged the foreigners were brought in Grand Cape Bound, Maryland, and Grand Judah counties by what he described as unscrupulous politicians to participate in the electoral process.
The CPP has made several attempts to work with NEC to have the voter roll cleaned, but to no avail, as the NEC technicians failed to work with our technical representatives. This is also true for the Rainbow Alliance. The CPP has made several attempts to work with NEC to have the voter roll cleaned, but to no avail, as the NEC technicians failed to work with our technical representatives. This is also true for the Rainbow Alliance. They failed to provide us with a copy of the voter roll, which was to be cleaned and prevented our technicians from having access to areas which the cleaning process took place. On September 10, 2020, we wrote the Board of Commissioners of the NEC expressing our disappointment over the manner in which the Commission was proceeding with the process leading up to the December 2020 senatorial elections. We highlighted the postponement of the special senatorial elections from October to December and the lack of cooperation with the political parties, among others. We also proffered several recommendations to the NEC to ensure that the elections are conducted by best international standards. Among those recommendations, we re-emphasized our demand for the cleanup of the voter roll as mandated by the Supreme Court in the June 2020 resolution of the legislature. We urged the NEC to put in place a rigorous citizenship verification policy to avert what is now happening in Cape Mount, Maryland, Grand Judah, and other counties, where foreigners are said to be brought into our country by unscrupulous politicians to participate in our electoral process.
As part of efforts to facilitate the expansion of knowledge and capacity building of Liberians, the Environmental Protection Agency on Wednesday officially launched the Climate Change Knowledge Management Platform in Grand Bassa County. The aim of the platform is to provide accurate data on various sectors to the public. KMTV's Angelina Noah has more.
The launch of the platform is in fulfillment of Section 4.8 of the National Environmental Policy of Liberia and Article 12 of the Paris Climate Change Agreement. Under these policies, the Environmental Protection Agency is to provide timely and accurate information pertaining to the environment to decision makers and the public for sustainable management of environmental resources. The platform will enable the public to gather accurate data on climate change-sensitive sectors, including agriculture, waste management, forestry, and energy, among others.
So today, the portal we've come to launch today, this platform is a platform that is useful for you, the media. Because if you are a journalist and you have interest in environmental journalism, climate change reportage, you can go around the platform and collect real-time hydrological, meteorological, coastal information, fishery, mining, water and sanitation, waste. Every sector is incorporated, is captured on this platform. I would be much more glad if the Liberian people, if the institutions out there that are involved into academic, fishery, mining, and agriculture use this platform very effectively.
The launching event was graced by several national stakeholders, including newly crowned Miss Earth Liberia, Robel C. Hovers, who has been assigned as an ambassador for the EPA. Ms. Hovers said her new role seems more challenging, but also promised to maintain her stance as in protecting the earth.
I view it as something that will be challenging, no lie, but I'm a person who loves challenges. So as the Vatican, I'm here to fight and stand for my earth. Prior to assuming this role, one of the issues that I've learned, or environmental issues that have been affecting Liberia, is the waste pollution, the dikes on the beach, and one other issue that seems or looks very simple, the burning of dikes behind the house. Now we Liberians, we do not understand the effects those dikes burning have on us as humans, because when you burn a dike, there are some monoxide that comes out of the dike that are very dangerous to your lungs, and it prevents oxygen from coming in. So you have to be very careful in the disposing and burning of the dikes. That's why we have bylaws that are regulating the way in which we throw our dikes.
Now that the platform has been launched, the EPA believes that the only challenge will be the refusal of the public to make sufficient use of the platform.
Angelis Noah with that report. It was predicted that the political emergence of the collaborating political party, which comprises of Unity Party, Alternative National Congress, Liberian Party, was a formidable force to capture major seats in the Liberian Senate. But it seems the other way around, and lots of influential members of the CPP have broken away from the party. For more details on this development, here is a report compiled by Nathan Chaz and voiced by Tatos Yekenyan.
Fight for political supremacy keeps emulating and is vivid in the collaborating political parties CPP. The four collaborating political parties, through a memorandum of understanding, signed and agreed to selecting one candidate in each county. But as the National Elections Commission gives out details to the December process and started receiving nominations for candidates, things have begun to fall apart. Members of the various parties who were eager to be supported by the biggest opposition movement in Liberia to clinch seats in various counties in the upcoming elections are defaulting. Self-echo, political betrayal, financial manipulation are all reasons for the split in the CPP, according to some officials, including talk show host Henry Costa, Tawongba, Representative Yeke Koluba, amongst others. Representative Yeke Koluba, a vocal politician against George Weah's government, recently, to the disbelief of many, suspended his membership from the party and spoke about forming another strong voice for the people of Liberia. Jumping out of the CPP after reading through the political lines, UP partisan and incumbent lawmaker Erin Melvin Snow of Bombing County leap out after UP lost to Bombing to ALP at consensus. In a politically tension-bound county, Menupake Dumoy, an executive of the Liberty Party, is contesting against CPP candidate Prince Moi, while in Sano County, a former superintendent, Romeo Kwe, who is a member of the Liberty Party, is contesting against the CPP candidate Grace Cooper. The political fight continues in Grand Cape Mount County as Dr. Foley Kroma, a member of the Liberty Party, is contesting against the CPP candidate Simeon Taylor, and Riverview County is experiencing Elijah Sear, a member of the Unity Party, contesting against CPP candidate and former football icon Jonathan Sobey. Political commentators believe that people must put aside their personal egos. Already the ruling Coalition for Democratic Change is jiggling at the CPP. Nathan Charles compiled this report, and I'm Titus Igalnya for KMTV News.
A group of health workers in Liberia today gathered in capital Monrovia to petition and protest against the bad working conditions at government-run health facilities. The grid workers are demanding higher pay, salary increment, and reclassification of qualified workers, among others.
It is nearly a week and a half now since hundreds of healthcare providers laid down their tools to protest for what they call increased in salaries and other benefits. Gathering at the U.S. Embassy, the European Union, and the United Nations headquarters in Monrovia, the aggrieved healthcare workers vowed not to go back in clinics and hospitals until their demands are fully settled by the government.
We've been working from 2019. The 6 months alternator they gave us, we gave them. At the end of the day, it went to 1 year. So we come back to this situation again, but we continue to work for our people, and then they don't have the right, not because of money, we're not advocating really for money, my brother, but we don't have jobs in the facility. As we speak to you, we don't have even gloves to work with. We don't have even masks to use. So if I'm not safe, my patient will not be safe.
According to the protesting health workers, they will not be intimidated by threats of this measure, as they are professionals and will not be carried away by mere talk. They mentioned that until their plights are urgently looked into, they will remain uncompromising to the end.
It's so disgraceful that if one of our patient comes to the hospital, you tell them to go and buy food, you tell them to buy syringes, you tell them to buy drip. It's so embarrassing. The second again, we have our hazard, we are fighting towards our hazard, increment of our salary. There is nothing, they are passing the extent that when you go to the bank to receive your money, at the end of the day, this going down, $5 you have for deducted from our money because of ATM card. We're not educated on that. We are not going to be tired. We're going to fight it again, because after this, I don't think we'll be going for another article action. Because the first one was doing any government will fight it and she came and talk to us. But since this government came into power, they met us. Instead of encouraging the health worker, he never did it. He made us to understand the health worker. We are not in the field to buy us, neither to pay us, neither to buy a car. And our president cannot approach health worker association like that. In this identical government, I'm disappointed, highly disappointed.
In the wake of the ongoing strike by the health workers, the government of Liberia said it will continue to encourage the health workers to return to their assigned post, but in the same vein, will not allow the health system to collapse. The Ministry of Health has therefore been instructed to solicit applications from qualified healthcare workers of various grades, including nurses, nurse aides, midwives, laboratory technicians, in order to fill the temporary vacancies that have resulted from the strike action.
Liberian nurses and doctors have planned to continue their strike action until the government of Liberia looks into their plight. Reporting from the grounds of the protest here in Monrovia, this is Emmanuel Tatomokoli.
Emmanuel Tatomokoli with that report. Police in Surgery Grand Judah County are in search for a 34-year-old man identified as Marvin Chia for allegedly killing his girlfriend Florence Julie, who family sources said she was 4 months pregnant for him. Our reporter Brian Dior is on the line from Southeastern Liberia. Brian, tell us, what have you gathered so far as it relates to this murder?
KMTV Liberia have gathered that a man believed to be age 34 is currently in the run for allegedly murdering his 4 months pregnant girlfriend in Redwood, Grand County. And of course, according to what KMTV gathered from police investigation, this 34-year-old man identified as Marvin Chia is currently on the run. His girlfriend name is Florence Julu. Of course, we've been told that the late Florence Julu, age 26, and Marvin Chia have been in relationship for the past 5 years now, and they both have their first new child. But of course, it happened in the case that Melvin, according to what we gathered from a good money camp, of course, he gave his wife to be promised LD 19,000. And so at the end of the day, according to what we gathered, the next day he wanted this morning from Florence. But unfortunately, Florence told him that she did something with the money, that is, she had purchased a planty so that she could sell banana. There is something which led to this man, this 34, coming up to Florence, get angry with his wife, but then to be Florence. And it stuck up a conflict in the room for about 3 days, and at the end of the day, he succeeded in allegedly murdering his wife, but then to be Florence on the 22nd of September 2020 in Grand Julia County.
So what are the family members saying in regards to their relationship?
Well, from reports and also from what we gather from a police investigation, and reporters who went on the scene also gathered that indeed the brother of the perpetrator, in person of Augustine T, indicated that his brother also took along with that night before he would commit the act at around 2 o'clock a.m. He took his 4-year-old son to his brother now, Augustine T, who spoke to reporters, and he told Augustine that indeed he was going to sleep at another place because his wife would be probably had a conflict. And so Augustine said he was surprised to actually have heard that he allegedly murdered his woman, Florence. And so with that also, the father of Florence indicated that indeed he was surprised of what happened because it was when the incident happened that he witnessed that 34-year-old man was actually in a relationship with his daughter. So he expressed dissatisfaction and called the National Police to immediately launch an investigation in terms of breaking the perpetrators to book.
So
as we get report that indeed the perpetrator was arrested, but we will confirm that report on tomorrow. And so education, the family members are calling for justice to be done in the process.
So shortly before you can go, tell us, are community dwellers or citizens in that part of Liberia helping so that the perpetrator can be brought to light?
Surely, they are helping to ensure that the perpetrator is brought to the custody of joint security or the court for investigation. And indeed, just to also say that the southeastern region these days, in less than 2 weeks, mysterious things kept happening. In fact, as you may be aware, on last Saturday, there was this man who allegedly hanged himself in People, Solomon district. And of course, in Zwetu also, as we reporting, a lady was allegedly slaughtered by her boyfriend, like we reporting now. And also, we got a report that today, a 44-year-old woman allegedly planted and killed her husband in River G County. So for the southeastern region, there have been too many mysterious things happening in less than 2 weeks in the southeastern region.
Thank you very much, Brian, for bringing us up to speed on unfoldings there. We hope to join you.
Thank you, Anthony.
Brian Dior is our southeastern correspondent there, bringing us up to speed on unfoldings in that part of Liberia. Several infrastructure development projects undertaken by the government of Liberia are nearing completion. According to the executive mansion, some of the projects undertaken by the government include the installation of solar panel street lights and the construction of the 14 Gorbachev Market. Deputy Presidential Press Secretary Smith Toby has been explaining more.
Last week we were telling you about the streetlights project that have started. Testing of the first 2 poles will be done today. And you say, what is significant of 2 out of the 1,000 of the poles that are expected to get planted in the city? Those testing will give momentum to the massive installation that begin in 48 hours, beginning from ELW to Broad Street to St. Paul Bridge to other communities that were highlighted in our last briefing. Jalatown, talking about the Johnsonville Inn. So a total of 1,500 of those poles are expected to get planted. Some months back, some of you joined us for the official groundbreaking ceremony of the 14th Gorbachev Market. That project is now completed. Today we want to report to you that the Liberian Agency for Community Empowerment list has finally confirmed to the President that the structure in the Ominga navigation community, that complex is now ready and holding everything constant. The dedication of that project will be on the 29th of this month.
A young Liberian entrepreneur, Daniel Flomel, has cautioned the youthful population of Liberia to remain focused and urged them to continue working in achieving their goals. Mr. Flomel, a resident of District 2 of Mosurata County, said he has no intent to contest in the district representative election in 2023, but will only do so if his petition by citizens.
When you are a determined person who coming up, know that when you stay in one environment for like 5 years and you're not seeing your way through, you have to transition. It's not something that you are forced to be in that entire locality. So, to my fellow young people, know who you are and work towards your vision. Everyone has a vision. If only you will work towards it, then the world will see what really inside of you. If citizens of District Number 12 will be convinced that Mr. Flomo can lead us and can give us what we really want for our district, I will not turn it down. But I can assure you, I can give you the guarantee that I will not, and I emphasize, I will not blow my own trumpet. Always, people come to me, oh, Mr. Flomo, what is your intention? What is it that behind these things that you are doing? I always tell them, if you judge for yourself, do your evaluation. If you are convinced that Mr. Flomo, he's a humanitarian, he's that kind of leader, then I will give you an assignment. Do your study, do your research about Mr. Flomo, and then come up with your answer or your result.
Well, that, folks, that brings us to the close of news today only on KMTV. But before we leave you, here once again are the headlines. Collaborating political parties calls on National Elections Commission to halt the ongoing voters' road update. Health workers in Liberia demonstrate demanding hazard pay, salary payment, among others. Police in Zweju, Juda County, is in search for an alleged murderer after killing his girlfriend. Also, thanks for your viewing pleasure. Join us during our subsequent new broadcasts. Until then, I'm Zac Sherman. Do have yourselves a wonderful evening.